Well, joining us now, CNN political commentators, Democratic strategist Dave Jacobson and Republican consultant John Thomas.
Also with us here in Los Angeles, entertainment journalist and social commentator Segun Oduoluwu. So, Segun, we would like to start with you. The president's speech on Monday came 2 days late. He insisted on talking about the economy first. He then moved on to the investigation by the Department of Justice. He spent less than 20 seconds of a 5-minute-long speech specifically calling out the hate groups by name. Better late than never?
There's nothing that this president now can say to me, and I think to a lot of African Americans, 2 days late, 5 days late, a week late, or even after it happened, that would ever get us to think that he has done the right thing. This is a man that will go on Twitter and lash out within 30 seconds if someone says something about him. And you had people dying in a college town where someone decided to drive a car and run over protesters, and his mealy-mouthed, weak, wishy-washy first response, I mean, Pence gave a better response out of the country, and President Trump, couldn't even denounce Nazis. When you see the Nazi flag being waved right alongside the Confederate flag, when a grand dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, David Duke, is telling you that they not only voted for him, but they support what his agenda is, and now you want to disassociate yourself 2 days later from the people that are telling everyone that they put him in office? I find it not only repugnant, to use Trump's words, but if I'm really going to go over the top, I find it to be a punk move. I expect more from my president. I don't need him to be moral authority, but please, Nazis right next to the Confederate flag, and you're telling me 2 days later? Did he get permission from Bannon? Is that what happened? Did Bannon tell him it was okay for him to now speak up and denounce racist groups that commit violence?
Let's bring John in.
John, let me go to you as our resident Republican on this matter. Listen, some would go as far as to call this a debacle for the president, the way this all played out, the way it was handled. I mean, he made the statement on Monday after a host of Republicans came out and criticized the lack of naming these groups and talking about many sides. Is this a debacle that the president alone owns, or is this something that the Republican Party is going to have to deal with as well down the line?
Well, the answer is yes and yes, because the president represents the party, whether the party likes it or not. And so, you know, the party, I think, was very quick. If you look at every leader of the party except for Donald Trump, they were very quick that night to denounce white nationalism, Nazism, etc. The president certainly made a mistake here. I mean, I like the tone that he struck today. I just wish it had been 48 hours ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, before he struck that tone, the president went up to the head of Merck Pharmaceuticals, Kenneth Frazier, who quit a presidential business panel in protest of what the president did on Sunday. And then Donald Trump tweeted this: "Now that Ken Frazier of Merck has resigned from President's Manufacturing Council, he will have more time to lower rip-off drug prices." Dave, it took the president 54 minutes to condemn Frazier, who is one of the top African-American executives in the U.S.
Right, you've got a president who skewers his attorney general, the Republican leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, a number of other Republicans, and yet he was completely tone deaf in condemning neo-Nazism, white supremacists, white nationalists.
Meryl Streep.
Right. I mean, the damage has been done, and all the Republican members who are running for re-election in the House or for the Senate, they're riding the president's coattails, whether they like it or not, and ultimately this is going to trickle down ballot and impact them in 2018.
Well, and this is also a symptom of low presidential approval numbers. I mean, one thing we know about business leaders, forget the color of your skin, is they don't like controversy.
Yeah.
They don't want to be associated with controversial figures, certainly when they have low approval ratings. So it's not surprising to see several people follow right after the Merck scene.
Well, and here's the thing, if I could jump in real quick.
Sure.
Donald Trump's response today was followed by Richard Spencer, the leader of the alt-right, who said this is kumbaya nonsense, and only a dumb person would believe what the president said. So, I mean, that's the message that the alt-right and the neo-Nazi movement is taking from President Trump today.
Segun, to go to you, as you heard John and Dave make the point, we've seen these CEOs drop off the president's council, the manufacturing council. We know that Merck did this. Intel, the CEO, has just announced he's stepping away. The CEO of Under Armour saying the same thing, and he tweeted this. Let me read it to you. "I love our country and company. I'm stepping down from the council to focus on inspiring and uniting through power of sport." Let me ask you this, Segun. How much comfort do minority communities take from seeing these CEOs walk away from the president?
Well, I think that they should not take much comfort at all, because this feels like fake outrage to me. You knew what this man was when you supported him. You knew what this man was. He entered politics by denouncing the first African-American president and asking for his birth certificate. Then he attacked a woman running for president and denounced women and called them all types of sexist names. So this is par for the course. I don't expect much from this president, but I would ask John this as a Republican. When you have basically sold your soul to the alt-right, to people who are marching the streets of a college town, an institution for higher learning, where slaves actually built that university, when they are marching and you own the presidency, you pretty much own the judiciary, you own most of the elected officials and the government. What country are they losing? They are the GOP right now. They are the GOP.
Okay,
You are
let John
in bed,
respond,
you are
Shagun.
in bed with the enemy, John. So please,
Okay,
I love you, brother, but defend what you
let
guys
John
have
respond.
done.
John.
Thanks, Shagun. First of all, it is fairly offensive for you to say that I sold my soul to back Donald Trump. To think that the alt-right is representative of the conservative Republican movement is ridiculous. Donald Trump captured
Bannon's in his
a
cabinet.
lower
Bannon's in
Donald
his
Trump
cabinet.
captured a lower percentage of the white vote than Mitt Romney. He captured a larger percentage of the African-American vote, the Latino vote, and minority vote than Mitt Romney. So you tell me, Shagun. Is it the alt-right that put Donald Trump in office? It's not. It's not. They are a fringe group. The president did make a mistake on Saturday. He should have condemned them immediately, but he's rectified that today.
But John, which mistake are we going to go? The mistake that he tried to rectify today, or when he was caught on the Access Hollywood cameras, or when he was caught talking about the Miss Universe contestants, or when he kept going after the different people in your own party when they were debating him, small hands, and talking about their wives? Which mistake are we going to finally give him a pass on? And when you have an alt-right leader as an advisor to the president, please don't tell me that you all are not in bed with the alt-right really heavy when David Duke on national cameras is telling you who they voted for and who they support.
Quickly, John.
Donald Trump's disavowed David Duke numerous times, and Steve Bannon's not a leader of the alt-right movement. That's an
But he
overreaching.
didn't disavow the support
Yeah.
today when he spoke up. He named the groups. There's no doubt about that. But again, the point has been made for a president who tends to personalize a lot. He had a moment to stand out and say, I don't want your support. I stand with all of America. But he didn't. Why?
He's done that numerous
But
times.
why didn't he do it now when
well,
it was needed, when the country was looking to
well,
him?
I think the president is believing that you don't need to elevate these people by continuing to name a known, like, David Duke is nothing.
He was already naming them, so why not go the step of saying, I don't want your support, if it wasn't a political calculation as some people see it?
But he's gone through in the past and numerous times and disavowed David Duke and called him fringe and called him crazy. You know, you're just looking for the president to repeat himself, and perhaps he should
Let me
have.
ask you this, Dave. Can you denounce these groups too much? I mean, seriously.
No, not at
Exactly.
all. Are you kidding me? I mean, the Nazis slaughtered
Yes.
millions of Jews.
It's
I mean, the
pretty easy to denounce a
KKK
Nazi
wants to
group.
annihilate African Americans.
Right.
I mean, the reality is, look, it's a pure political calculus. We're talking about a president who, according to Gallup today, put out a poll that has a 34% approval rating. That's a historic low for a modern-day American president. And the reality is, Donald Trump needs these supporters. He's got nothing left to lose. I mean, what is he going to be in the 20s after that? I mean, then we're looking at real impeachment, even among Republicans.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, look, Steve Bannon, the CEO of the Breitbart website, he proudly declared that a platform for the alt-right, John, and many people say if Donald Trump is genuine about what he says, Steve Bannon has to go. But he's not going to go, is he?
Oh, he's going.
He's going? When?
I'm going to say tomorrow.
So we can write that down.
Okay.
You heard it here.
We'll leave it at that.
CNN Newsroom LA.
Okay.
news.
John and Dave, thank you.
Gentlemen.
And Shagun, you want one last word?
Yeah, put your name to that, John. If you're going to go Miss Cleo and predict that Bannon is going, I want you to put your name to that.
He just did. What do you want? Love?
Seriously.
Television,
Shagun.
Shagun, I'm here.
We'll see you all next hour.
Okay, thank you
Go
both.
cool
Thank you
off.
all. All
Thank
three.
you.